back in the days before Windows, when Microsoft's operating system was still a command line only and had no graphics in it, we used DOS. Now, DOS was as I said, a command line interface. In order to make a bootable DOS disk, you had to have 3 files: io.sys, ms-dos.sys, and command.com. Now, it doesn't take a genius to figure out that command.com is probably the command line interface, and that's exactly what it is. Without these 3 files, you can't boot the disk. What was interesting was you could just take a floppy disk and copy these 3 files to it, and it was immediately bootable. You didn't have to create a bootable disk like you do today. Well, what actually occurred was that up until the Windows NT line of kernel, the previous versions of Windows ran directly on DOS. It looked something like this. Here's the hardware, and then you install DOS. So this is the actual operating system. Windows was just this pretty shell that sat on top of it. Whenever you would click something or do something here in Windows, it would actually issue a DOS command to the hardware. Well, once the NT kernel came out, we reversed that. We no longer needed to have a DOS interface between the hardware. We no longer had to install DOS before we installed Windows. So Windows would install directly on the hardware, but now what if you wanted to issue a command line command? Well, somebody came up with the idea of putting command.exe inside Windows. So now if you create a command or type a command here in the CMD command line, it is interpreted by Windows and then goes to the hardware. The name of that person, by the way, was Therese Stowell. And I believe I have here, yes, Therese Stowell's LinkedIn page. She's still around. She's in the United Kingdom, in London, working for Pivotal Software Inc. But if you look at her career achievements here, some of my career achievements include single-handedly writing the command line as part of the team to build the first version of Windows NT. It was actually her idea, and then she wrote that cmd.exe command. Now, let's go to Windows 98 here. I'm looking at Windows 98, and remember, Windows 98 was about the last of the non-NT series of operating systems for Microsoft. I'm going to go ahead and click Start and Run, and we're going to type command.com here. And there it is, and you see that it says the MS-DOS prompt. This is actually DOS, and it's actually running underneath Windows itself, and it has all the commands that I care to type from the command line, or from, I should say, from DOS. But now let's go over here and look at XP Professional. I'm going to go ahead and click Start in there and Run. Now, if I type command.com, this should error. No longer was command.com in it. Now we had that cmd.exe, and if I click that one, now I have my it's not DOS any longer. It's just a command line prompt, and you notice it no longer says DOS here. It just says C Windows System 32 command or cmd.exe. So this is now running on top of the graphical Windows, and the graphical Windows is actually interpreting these commands for us. So that's how we got from DOS to the command line that we have today. All of our Windows versions today still run on that Windows NT kernel, and so we still have that cmd.exe, but it is not DOS. And don't call this the DOS prompt. Don't call it the DOS window. It is not DOS. It's simply a command line option. So there we have it, and I hope this was informative for you.